Say the name.
This is the Art of Pokemon test episode. So the only people that will probably ever hear this are me, you, and me when hopefully I'll figure out how to edit something like this.
So you now and future you when you listen to it again?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Unless we hit it big time, we can release this during the Maximum Fun Drive.
We already haven't hit it big time. We're going to have to wait a couple episodes for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically our goal here is just to talk about the basic design characteristics of Pokemon with somebody who plays Pokemon and an art major who doesn't.
Yeah, so I'll be bringing in the lore and the background and the general sort of characteristics of the Pokemon, and then we'll be judging them and reviewing them. And
I'll be bringing the general, bitchy attitude of a college art major who has a lot to say about the colors and shapes of these little critters. So, yeah, it should be a good time.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll do all. I think there's like 900 now.
Oh my god.
We will be doing them by evolutionary line, so we're not gonna do a far-fetched episode and then do another Sir-fetched episode later.
That also means that we'll never hit 1,000th episode unless we really dig deep.
Yeah, that's not necessarily true. We can have specials and things like that.
This is true.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully. I mean, let's hit 900 first,
Let's hit 900
and then
first, and then we'll think about where to come.
Then we'll worry about episode 1,000.
Okay, or we could go straight from 900 to 1,000.
That's true. We could.
901 could be episode 1,000.
Yeah.
The grand finale in which we both are killed.
By the time we finish this, the next generation might come out, and we might hit 1,000 by then.
It's going to last forever.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Should we say like our names or something?
Yeah.
Even if this isn't
yeah.
her, we should probably.
Yeah, just to get in the habit.
Just to know who we are.
Hi, I'm Trevor.
I'm Samantha.
I'm gonna cut that out. Hi, I'm David.
I'm Savannah, unfortunately.
And here we go. Test episode 1. So we're doing a beta Pokemon from the, for you fans out there, from the Gold and Silver demo hack that came out a few years ago. And I found some realistic looking art representations of the pixel art. So here we go.
Oh boy. And in a lot of cases, I think that I'm, for all intents and purposes, going to be seeing these characters for the first time, live and recording, so we'll see. We'll see how it
here's
goes.
the reveal of the first stage of the evolution.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, if you want to follow along, at home, you should probably have a name they can search.
So I believe that the names of these ones, I don't know if they were ever officially released, but I believe that this one is known as KOTOR online.
Okay. Well, he's certainly very cute. Can we read that? Can we read that caption really quick? I feel like that would tell us a little bit what he's about.
The caption. He's an electrical tiger, so he's an electric type, very round.
Very round.
Very, very round. I did find this on a website where a man has all...
Oh, wow.
Hold on. Look at...
Oh. It has to... Yeah, that's why...
Yeah.
Okay, so quick backstory. Valentine's Day 2020, we hit the big time at the local arcade, and we won what we believed was a very, very round knockoff Pikachu. He's very sweet. I'm looking at him right now. We have joint custody of the boy, but he has Pikachu's like yellow body and black stripes, and he does have like a double T shape on his forehead. And I looked at this character next to what we've colloquially referred to as Ponkachu, and I've realized that they do have the same shape on their head.
Yeah.
It can... Well,
same
oh my God,
same shape
same
on
tail.
their head, same tail, same round ears, same beady eyes.
Yeah. He don't have the whiskers, and he doesn't have the little...
But he does have a little dot nose.
He does. Wow, oh my goodness. Well, we'll post a
this is something. Yeah, I'll
we'll
post it to the
picture of him on
Instagram.
Instagram, and you guys can check him out. Give him some love.
Wow, this is a real tentaquill situation. So for you kids at home and for you, Sav, one of the very interesting things about the beta Pokemon release was about a decade ago. I forget which website it was specifically, either 4chan or whatever, one of the forum sites. One of the forum sites that is not crossed by your average man. They held a little game where everyone had to draw their favorite Pokemon by memory.
Ooh.
And let me see if I can pull up a picture of Tentaquill. So someone draws this.
Oh boy.
So someone draws this, and in response, everyone is like, "Hey, what the fuck is that?" Oh, sorry, I probably shouldn't swear on this Pokemon podcast.
I feel like
what the Tentaquill is that?
Okay, it's a Tentaquill.
And that was his response. It's a Tentaquill.
Mm-hmm.
Tentaquill is not a Pokemon.
You spell it with 2 L's, too.
Tentaquill is not a real Pokemon. And so this man was assumed to be a troll of some kind. Until... like a decade later, when this leak came out, in the game data was this.
Oh my God! Wow.
Where if you put the
it's
Tentaquill markings on it,
his eyes in that picture kind of make it look like the McDonald's sign, but I guarantee that is just a coincidence.
So it turns out that this man wasn't a troll. He was a...
I'm seeing some other horrible things on this thread, but we're not going to cover those.
It turns out that he...
Oh, no.
It turns out that he was a Mandela-affecting man who came from a universe where Tentaquill became a real Pokemon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being that guy in your shitty Microsoft game?
Yeah.
Boy becomes
a world-renowned sensation. So back to KOTOR, as I think he's called. Kotora. I like that he's a tiger. I also like that he's not tiger-shaped. I like that he's electric.
Is this correct me if this is the first in an evolution?
Yes, he evolves once after this.
So this is good, because even if he is like a tiger, they have to take a tiger but make him small.
Right.
So like by making him like just one big like bicep of a boy, they've given him room to expand.
Right.
When he does evolve.
I personally, and I think that in the evolution this becomes even more apparent. Upon looking at this, I want to make it an electric and fire type.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that a pure electric typing would be just fine. Though he does look a little bit like, as we established, Pikachu and Raichu, so a pure electric typing might not be fantastic because we kind of already have that.
Okay, yeah. I also like that they have given him, like, electrical representation, but not made it too direct.
Yeah. So,
like, the orange lightning bolt, like, they made it look like fur, so it blends in with his other stripes. It's not like a Harry Potter situation where it's just kind of carved into his midsection.
Right.
Also like how his tail is vaguely, like, Tigger-like,
who
is also, I believe, a tiger.
Yeah.
So, see where that comes from.
I like that.
Yeah, I like his little whiskers too. They're very thick.
Yes, yeah. I like his what do you call it? The very cat-like like mustache area.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's kind of making
like,
that, you know, that.
The ellipses 3 face.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
All right, are you ready to move on to the evolution?
Okay, are we gonna rate?
Oh
these
yeah, we have
dudes
to
at
rate
one
these.
point? Are
Did
we gonna rate
did
them
we decide?
individually?
Yeah, we should rate them individually. Though, would it make more sense to rate them after we've seen the entire evolutionary
That's
line?
what I was thinking of.
Yeah. What is our rating system going to be? Is it out of 5?
5 is so dangerous because even a 4, like, he could be amazing,
Right.
but a 4 really doesn't say that. It's like only like an 80%.
That's true.
So are we going to go out of 10?
If you want to, we
out
can.
Of 10?
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll go out of 10, and it's also got to be based on, we're going to say it's based on, like, their design in conjunction with what they do.
Yeah.
And how well those balance out.
Yeah.
Unless they're super ugly, in
Right.
which case everything else is out the window.
The general cohesion of the Pokemon.
Okay.
All right. So here's.
Okay. All right. I like him.
Yeah.
He's starting to look a little bit less. He's almost starting to look a little bit less tiger-like in this. He looks more like a mouse.
Right. He does. He looks like a mouse with like saber teeth.
I was just about to say saber teeth.
So this is, I think, I forget what the name of this one is, like Kitteriga or something like that.
Okay. Ooh, I'm reading the caption underneath, and it does say that they remain round and cub-like, but I read it as cube-like, and I was like, I think that they have a misunderstanding of what round means. But no, he does continue to be cub-like. He is very, very sweet and playful.
Overall, the markings have stayed rather similar.
They have.
The unified T on the top seems to have become just one sort of T shape.
Mm-hmm. Seems as though he's lost the stripes on his side.
Yeah.
Back up to,
yeah,
so he no longer has stripes on his
which
side.
is interesting because Pikachu also has like this exact same type of striping on his side, except in brown. I like that he appears to be pouncing.
Yeah. Wait, particularly big fierce monster cat. Maybe he's not.
I don't think that he is.
Not everything has to grow into something monster-like.
Yeah, I mean, this pocket monster is certainly a pocket friend, if anything.
Pocket friend.
Yeah. I like what they've done with his eyes. I like the sharpness of them. And that's an eye shape that we don't really see a lot in this sort of early Ken Sugimori era.
Yeah. And that could also be because this does seem to be an action pose.
Yeah.
It could be kind of, an XD situation.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it is very, very lightly colored. They have kept the same designs from the first evolution, but they changed him up a little bit.
Right.
I love him. He's very, very. Oh, I also. Did he have 3 the first time, or did he only have 2? 3 whiskers.
He only had 2 the first time.
So he's growing whiskers as well.
Yeah. And I very much like the decision to give him these sort of saber teeth. I think that's fun.
Yep. I'm ready and excited to see the 3rd.
Well, I have a surprise for you.
Oh my god.
There is no 3rd. This is the final stage.
So it's just baby to slightly bigger baby?
Yes.
That... To what
It's
end?
baby all the way down.
It's baby all the way down. But why?
What do you mean?
But why? There's always... It's rule of 3. There's always 3. Where's the 3rd one?
There is not always 3. First bit of Pokemon lore.
Okay.
So, Pokemon don't have to evolve. Many of them do. Not all of them do. And out of those that do, some only evolve once.
Okay. Well, I mean, that certainly keeps his score high.
Yeah.
I'm thanking our good Lord that there is not a 3rd, much uglier one that would really, really drop that score down.
Right.
So are you ready to rate these
Yeah.
boys?
Let's start with the pre-evolution. Let's start with the baby.
All right.
All right. So we have to agree on a rating, I think.
Do we?
Because
okay.
I want to like make a full list of our entire rating of all of them.
Okay, makes sense.
So what is your ideal rating for this man here?
So first of all, I rate him baby.
Yeah.
Like, we can agree upon that.
Of course.
I don't know. Based on the fact that he is an electrical... I mean, they described him as an electrical tiger, which I think comes across pretty clearly.
Yeah.
He's very cute. He seems as though he would be functional. You know, he seems like he could complete his goals in timely fashion.
Yeah.
He seems like he seems like a stand-up fella. I'm gonna give him an 8.5.
Wow. All right. That's funny. I was actually I was thinking of giving him an 8, but personally, I think that I would like there to be a secondary typing on this man. I think because he is so thematically close to the Pikachu line and also pure electric, that I think it's a bit too much.
Okay.
Too much like Pikachu, so I'm going to give him a 7.
Give him a 7.
Still very good looking, still very cute, so I'm going to give him a 7.
Can we agree on 7.5?
Yes.
Okay.
So
we give him 7.5.
Moving on to the evolutionary stage.
All right.
What are you thinking?
Why don't you take a swing at this one first, and we'll see.
See, this one, I like him. I like that it's in an action pose. That's something that we don't really see too often with the sort of official art for Pokemon. You see it once in a while, but usually they're just kind of T-posing.
Okay. Would have also been good, I must say.
Yeah.
Would have also been good.
I'm going to have to give this tiger probably an 8. I think that the fact that he remains cute while getting bigger and getting a few more defining features like the teeth, like the more larger whiskery face, I think that pushes it up to an 8 for me.
Up to an 8. I did have one thing that I would potentially change about this dude. The symbol, the lightning bolt symbol, it stays completely the same. I would have liked to see that maybe change just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit to maintain its like shape and overall color, but just to kind of push him to the next level, since that is literally what he's doing. But I can agree on an 8. He's very, very good.
An 8.
An 8.
Delightful.
And there is no third evolution.
There is no third evolution.
Well. Also, I gotta say that this page is called Gotta Critique 'Em All, and I'm absolutely devastated we did not snatch that name. Would have been very, very good.
That's all right. Ours is a little bit more official sounding.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, what now? Do you wanna take a swing at another one, or would you like to? All right.
Absolutely.
Let's see. What? Who are you looking at?
The stringworm boy.
Oh yes.
Stringworm boy.
Goribus. We will review Clam Pearl, Huntail, and Goribus at some point. Okay.
Wow.
So this lost Pokemon family, also from the beta, is the referred to as the Manbo family. So it's the one that's the anglerfish, shark, and grouper eel. So starting off with the base evolution. This is a fish.
Is it now? Oh my god.
I believe it's supposed to be a pure water typing. Yeah. I think that he's supposed to be some sort of combination of ocean sunfish and anglerfish, because he has the shape of the ocean sunfish, but he has the little lantern, which, speaking of, Another Generation 2 Pokemon that we'll get to at some point is Lantern with a U, which I would bet this Pokemon eventually turned into.
Oh, like...
Yeah.
They actually, like, drew inspiration from this to make that character. Okay.
Yeah. Lantern, a lot of people don't like Lantern, but I like Lantern. It's a water electric type, and it's kind of cute. It looks like a combination of an anglerfish and a dolphin. But this is very simple, and it's very small, too.
I like this one a lot. I gotta say, I really do like this one a lot, because it bears enough resemblance to the Mola Mola without being as terrifying.
Right.
I personally am absolutely terrified of those. I think that they're one of the scariest things in the ocean.
That's very fair.
But no, this one's got those big, beautiful anime eyes.
Yeah.
And he's staring up at his own little golden lantern, this little light of mine.
It's an interesting choice that the lantern's like curling in on itself.
Yeah. I think that I don't know, because this is also a baby.
Yeah.
And I think that if that is supposed to resemble a lantern of some sort, that it makes him a little bit sweeter. It gives him a little curly cue.
Yeah.
Like a little pig's tail.
Yeah. I'm beginning to realize now that in the real episodes, I will have a lot more history to bring to each of the Pokemon.
Okay. Yeah, we're
we're all seeing this for the first time, which is an interesting thing, but we should do reactions if we're still doing this when the next generation comes out. That'd be fun.
Oh, wow.
So it evolves into Akari, which the front half is a shark. The second half is kind of just an anchor. And it's sort of attached with the use of a chain, it appears.
So oddly enough, in theory is where I don't like this character. Usually it's like I like it, but like I don't like it, but in theory I do. No, in theory I don't like this, because if I were blindfolded and David were to describe this character to me, I would say most certainly looks like shit.
Right.
But it doesn't. It's actually it's very cleanly done. So it's essentially the head and fins of a shark, but it immediately turns into a chain holding an anchor. But in doing that, it's also holding the rest of the shape of a shark. I really hope you're looking at the picture along with this, because the ends of the anchor become the tail of the shark.
It's interesting because much like the first evolution, I believe Akari also became another Pokemon that was created at one point. I believe that this became Sharpedo from Generation 3, which Sharpedo, imagine the shark half is like much darker colored with a star on its nose. Mm-hmm. Take away the anchor.
Yep. And there he is. Wow.
Sharpedo's kind of just the front half of a shark.
Okay.
And I believe that that's what this became.
Yeah, I really like this one. And also, a beef that I have with a lot of Pokemon characters, or not a lot, but kind of the main beef that I find in character design, is that not a lot of attention is paid to color and paid to matching color in a lot of parts. I have one in particular in mind that I hope we talk about eventually, because they absolutely infuriate me. But in this particular depiction of Akari, the colors are kept very, very minimal and kept the same throughout. So there's some gray in there, there's some very steely blue, and just red for the eye. So that's a nice little detail, but it's kept the same all the way through, so it looks like a cohesive character, despite the fact that part of it is an animal and part of it is not.
Good.
Yeah, I like this one a lot.
Let's move on to the final evolution. What do you think this is going to be? We've had two very different evolutions so far.
I'm trying to think of a sea creature scarier than a shark. A mola mola could never become a shark, so technically what comes next doesn't have to be something a shark could become.
Right.
Perhaps a whale of some sort.
Let's see.
Whoa, okay.
It's a gulper eel of some kind.
Oh boy.
We see the return of the anglerfish lantern. See.
Oh wow.
What? It appears that we have a Last Jedi situation on our hands, in that the finale to the trilogy seems to have ignored the middle of the trilogy entirely.
Oh, yes, because if this were the second in the evolution, then there's actually some weight to it.
Yeah.
Because there is like a change, but still the presence of the little lantern. He still has those big, I could call them beautiful and I can no longer, eyes. Can I, man, I don't want to put this fella on blast too much, but can I say something?
Yeah.
He kind of looks like a toilet.
He does look like a toilet.
He looks like
His
a
mouth
toilet.
is straight up a toilet bowl
It
rim.
is a toilet bowl, or it looks like a toilet bowl with one of those book lights hanging over it.
Yeah.
And his eyes are kind of going in two different directions. I just do not think this guy knows where he is.
To be fair, if you're living down in the pitch black deep sea, you don't really need to see where you're going.
So then why not just keep your eyes closed?
You know what? You have a point.
He looks like... I feel like this is what I look like when I'm like stumbling around in the dark trying to find something. So I'm trying to open my eyes as wide as I can to like take in all the light that's
I wonder
possible.
if he can even open eyes, close eyes.
Okay, if you're gonna say that, you might as well just say it in the voice. Commit to the bit, please.
Can you predict what I'm about to say about this man here?
Can I predict what you're gonna say?
I've said it about the other two.
Oh boy,
I believe he also became Pokémon.
Okay, sure. Who was he?
I think that he actually became the fellas that you pointed out a moment ago. I think that this is the proto version of Huntail and Goribus, who both evolved from Clamperl, because we can see elements of both here. I mean, Huntail more so because that is more of an eel-shaped one, but yeah, I believe that this was maybe what came before.
Okay. Well, okay, so we've said some mean things. Let's say a couple nice things. Let's balance it out a little bit.
I like the color. I like this sort of inky color on him.
I like the fact that they're I'm not sure what they are, but the three prongs on the back there. I like that they provide that as a unifying factor to the lamp on his head.
If I could redesign an element of him, I would make the light on his head like an actual light bulb.
Ooh.
And then I would make those three in the back extras, like extra light bulbs in case he breaks the one on his head.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. See, because that adds some functionality to it, which I think a lot of them do have.
Right. And a thing that is wrong with this one that we see happen a lot in the earlier generations, it is kind of just an animal.
Yeah, there is not much magic or mystery to this. Well, I mean, there's certainly a lot of mystery. I wonder what it is he's looking at. But, yeah, this does just kind of look like a weird, like the weird love child of an anglerfish and an electric eel.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's doing his best, I'm sure. I do like the other ones, like the fact that the color is kept minimal. So, as you mentioned, like, it is mostly like a teal, like steely blue. But the lamp and the prongs at the end add a nice little accent.
I like
something
that.
a little bit unique to it.
Yeah.
Right.
So you ready to rate them?
Let's rate them.
All right. Starting with what's his name? Manbo, the baby one.
Go ahead.
All right. 4 out of 10.
Wow. Oh no.
Very, very
4.
cute, but cute is kind of the only thing that's going for him. And there's a lot of other cuties out there.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I guess you could
say
say there's a lot of fish in the sea.
And that's the closing. That's a closing tune. Okay. Yeah. Well, when you put it like that, like maybe he's not the cutest one, but I think that a 4 is a little bit harsh.
All right. What are you gonna give him?
I don't know. Well, I mean, in terms of functionality, I guess you can't really tell what it is that he does. But he's real sweet.
He is
real
very
sweet.
sweet.
He's got those big eyes. How can
He
you?
is very sweet.
How can you say that to him?
Hey, those 4 points are all about all earned by the eyes.
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 So can we maybe, just maybe, bump it up to like at least a 6?
All right, I'll call it a 6.
6.
6 out of 10 for Manbo.
All right, Manbo. I personally still think it's a little rough and tumble, but
if his name was Manbo number 5, then we'll talk. But
okay, all right.
All right, so here, Akari.
I'm gonna give him a if I have to take into consideration the evolution, I wouldn't give this a high score because that absolutely does not look like it would come from our little boy.
Right.
But in terms of just how much I like the way that this dude is laid out, I'm gonna give him a 7.5.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him a 5.5.
Oh my god.
Mostly just because he is so disconnected from the entire rest of the evolutionary line.
See, that's what I wasn't trying to base it on because I
gotta take it into account. And also the fins look like they're not even really attached to him.
That is true. They just kind of look like if you turned him, if you were facing him, if you were looking him in the face, that they might just be floating next to his head. I
also, again, we have a case of just kind of an animal with the head, but I like that he's water steel type. That's a type that we won't see until generation 4.
I think that and I think that the use of like actual water steel quality is done very well because it's a water creature with literal steel attached to his body. So there was a bit of a discrepancy there, though. So
what was your 7?
7.5. Were you at 5?
5. We could call it straight up 6.
All right, let's also call this one a 6, like his son before him.
Well, yeah. Well, I want to bump it up to 6.5.
Okay, we'll go 6.5.
6.5. All right. What are you thinking for him?
This one I am going to give a 5.5.
I'm going to give him a 4.
Okay.
4 out of 10.
Can we say 4.5?
Yeah, 4.5 out of 10.
All right.
Just kind of an animal, kind of a toilet bowl. He looks derpy, but not even in a like cute way.
Yeah. He just has big dopey eyes and 4 completely evenly spaced teeth in his toilet bowl mouth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a little bit rough going for this guy, but that's just the way it is sometimes.
Right.
4.5.
All right.
So, that was a fun one overall.
That was good.
I like that there's a third. It makes me feel like fulfilled.
Right.
All right.
All right. So, do you want to move on to the pack opening section
of
our program?
So, fun little activity that we're gonna do when we close. Is it when we close every episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when we close an episode, and this I cannot find the cards. They're there. So I would like to believe that this is a fun closing tradition, but this is just a reason for David to justify buying more Pokemon cards, which
It can be both.
I fully support.
It can
no,
be
and
both.
you know that I fully support it.
So we have 2 packs here. We have X and Y Steam Siege and X and Y Roaring Skies. I just noticed we have Mega Gallade on the front of one and Mega Shiny Gardevoir on the cover of the other. They both evolve from the same Pokemon.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can see they look like they're either siblings
sisters.
or married.
They're
so,
sisters.
all right, they're sisters.
They're sisters.
Gallade technically cannot have female genitalia, and Gardevoir. They're sisters. They're sisters. So which would you like to open on this episode?
I think that I would like to go for the Roaring Skies pack.
All right.
Let's see what we got. This is the ASMR portion of the program. So you want to put your headphones in for this one.
Oh, and I'll do the card trick for you. I'll do the card trick. So there's a trick to make sure that you always see the best card last.
I did it completely wrong, didn't I?
That's all right. Basically, you take the top 3 facing the back side of the card.
Ooh.
And you put it to the front of the deck. And now your last card that you'll see will be the best one.
Okay.
So first up we have the Gallade Spirit Link. So basically this is a trainer card, so this is more the nitty-gritty game mechanics, but it just lets you mega evolve him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pokemon tool. Call me a Pokemon tool. Next.
Gliscor. So Gliscor is a poison ground type. I like this art, actually. He appears to be above a town. Hold on a second. I think I know what town this is supposed to be. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that this is Lava Ridge Town. Because of the hot spring in the back, which is what Lava Ridge Town in the Hoenn region is known for.
Okay. Evolves from light. Okay.
Do you want me to read the Pokedex entry for him at the bottom of the card?
Sure.
Unless you can see it, I can't imagine.
Are you talking about this?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
All right, let's see. Its flight is soundless. It uses its lengthy tail to carry off its prey. Then its elongated fangs do the rest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Grim fate.
He looks like a vampire.
He does. He reminds me of the vampire in VHS when she gets like super yoked at the end. You only see her for a moment, but like this is beefy. Like right. That was beefy.
I like him.
I also like that it uses its tail to carry off the prey.
Yeah.
Because typically, I don't think that's how that works.
Tranquil. This is some pretty art. Very soft colors. I also think this is supposed to be the Hoenn region. This looks like it's just outside of Moss Deep City, based on the sort of islands in the island caves.
This art is very pretty. I like the more natural Pokemon characters because they're typically in a very nice watercolor setting on all the cards. I got a thing for birds. I really like birds. Yeah, this one's very pretty though. Next one is also a bird.
In fact, Pidove evolves into Tranquil.
Okay. And sure enough, it says that on the previous card.
Yeah, Pidove appears to be in front of the Weather Institute in the Hoenn region.
It looked to me like a Marriott.
Close enough.
And he's definitely living his best life. Yeah. I like the heart shape on his chest too. It's very good.
When we should have a special where we talk about the regional birds, because every region has its bird, its rodent, and its bug Pokemon.
Okay. And
each of them are sort of suited to the region that they're from. Pidove is from Unova, which is based on America, chiefly like New York. which
Oh,
is why it's a pigeon.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I do love it's like, welcome to the Art of Pokemon Regional Bird Special. I think that
Yeah.
Here's
the man himself.
Oh, wow.
We've pulled a Pikachu card.
I don't even know where to begin with this. Look at him.
Where is he? Where?
He looks like he is outside of Bertucci's, actually.
That's true.
Look,
there's a waiter. There's like bricks. I think that, yeah, I wonder where this is supposed to be. I'm sure some place.
There's a couple nice birds
up
in the corner, which I love.
What are those? Those are fletchlings. Oh, and there he is there. In fact, the next card is Fletchling. Fletchling. On the bike route in the Hoenn region. This pack theme came out like 5 years ago when some Hoenn remakes came out, so that's why a lot of stuff seems to be based around Hoenn. However, all of the Pokemon that we've seen so far that are seemingly shown in the Hoenn region are not found in the Hoenn region.
Okay, what kind of sense does that make?
Well, I mean, the card. All I'll say is that the cards are not where I go to for canon, but yeah.
Okay.
I like Fletchling a lot. I think that he's really cute, and I like the art of the bike path.
I also like the background of this one. I like, as much as I do like the natural settings, as I said a moment ago, I like to see them put birds in city settings too. I also must point out that this type is a tiny Robin Pokemon.
Yeah. And
by saying that, it makes me kind of think that there is no limit to what kind of Pokemon there is. He gets his own category.
We will talk about so each Pokemon has something called their species, which is, I don't really understand why this exists, but outside of their actual species, what they are, they each have a designation. So Pikachu is known as the mouse Pokemon, and so on and so forth. Pidove is the tiny pigeon Pokemon. I think that this is like a leftover from Generation 1, when they were just sort of doing anything to help people make attachments to the Pokemon and recognize what they are. Because certain Pokemon species names conflict with what they actually are.
Yeah.
Arcanine's species name is the legendary Pokemon, when Arcanine is certainly not a legendary Pokemon. Because legendaries are an actual distinction of Pokemon that we will get to one of them. I think, what did we say? Did we say what we were doing with legendaries? I know we talked about doing movie reviews.
Is it
every 10 episodes
every 10,
we're doing the starters, I think.
Yes, that is correct.
So we'll just do legendaries at random.
Okay.
Yeah.
A surprise.
Execute.
Never my favorite.
Yeah, kind of just 6 eggs.
6 eggs. And also
one's broken and one's dead.
I don't know. Look at them.
Yeah.
They just make me kind of sad. And I saw a screen cap from, I believe, one of the games.
Yeah.
When these 6 eggs hatch
from one egg.
And I was like, oh goodness.
Every Pokemon breeds through eggs.
Which I understand,
right. but it is wild.
I would like to point out there's
6 eggs hatch from one egg. What's even wilder is Kangaskhan always has a baby in its pouch. And it hatches from its egg with a baby in its pouch.
It's like a Russian nesting doll.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bagon. I like this outdoor setting. Bagon is a dragon type. I would like to talk about the Bagon line soon, because they have some pretty interesting concepts going on.
Continuous headbutt. That is actually a tactic that I use each and every day. Ooh.
Victini, our first reverse holo.
I like this one very much.
Victini is a mythical Pokemon. So Victini is a kind of legendary, but a very special kind of legendary, where it's even sort of more rare than most legendaries.
Wow. Are these
berries of some kind, raspberries.
Oh, I thought they were tomatoes.
Huh?
Now that you say it, I do not think that they are tomatoes.
I don't know what they are. They're very small, it seems.
And they're also growing from a tree, which I
Right.
don't think tomatoes do.
Yeah, Victini is a fire psychic type, which is interesting.
Look how big those eyes are.
Yeah. And the big V on the head is interesting to me.
Are the ears?
Yeah, I think so.
It looks like a variation on a there's a type of fox. I can't remember.
Oh, a fennec fox?
A fennec fox.
We will get to
with big ears.
Fennekin, one of the Gen 6 starters, is based off of a fennec fox. Unfortunately, it turns into a furry, but we'll get to that.
Oh,
yeah.
No. Okay.
Also, funny that you bring up also a fire psychic type. Those two are the only two fire psychic types in the game.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I know more than I think I do.
Absol.
I don't know. Okay, that's why. It's because it's a disaster Pokemon, as it says on here. So that makes a lot of sense.
You're not a fan of Absol?
I'm not a fan, but there's a couple things I can't figure out about this one. The body is that of also, I feel like maybe a fox of some sort.
Yeah.
But the legs are long like a horse, and it looks like it has talons like a griffin. And there's one big sweep of an ear maybe, but it doesn't look like there's a second one on the other side.
I think it's supposed to be a blade or horn of some kind. Absol is interesting. We'll cover Absol at one point, but the reason it's called the disaster Pokemon is because it's said that shortly before disasters to happen, Absol appears.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and so unfortunately everyone hates Absol because they blame him for the disasters.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Let's see if his Pokedex on the thing mentions that. It appears when it senses an impending natural disaster. As a result, it was mistaken as a doombringer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I
that's
like this
sad.
background, though.
I also like the background.
Very pretty.
It is pretty. What, and I'm sure we'll get into it at some point, but what does decide what gets a fancy card?
I think pretty much any card has the potential to be a reverse holo like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there's a select few per set
Okay.
that can be a regular holo. And then on top of that, there are a certain number of full art cards.
Are those rare?
Yes, those are rare.
Figured.
Yeah. All right. So
and that is the pack.
And
that concludes.
That is the pack. This is
first episode.
This has gone pretty well, I think.
I like this very, very much.
Me too.
And we got lots of plans. We actually the idea for this program came along when I was shown. I believe that we saw the evolutions of these starters, these most recent starters, when they first came out.
Yeah.
And there was a lot to be said about them.
Yeah.
But, it seems like something that...
Inteleon died on the cross so that this show could happen. Inteleon looks so bad that we had to do a show about it.
We had to talk about it, yeah. And, we can say some good things, but make no mistake, we're going to say some bad things. We're going to slander some boys here.
I love Pokemon. I think that you also...
I do also love Pokemon. Yeah. So I used to have cards, and then Mommy took my cards and she sold them, I believe, at a yard sale. And when I said, Mommy, where are the Pokemon cards? She said, I didn't think you really played with those. And that's kind of how my journey with Pokemon ended, is because I was never given Pokemon cards again.
Well, but here we are.
And I'm learning to love again.
If you want to, you can keep the Pokemon cards.
Oh, I do intend to staple every single one to the wall so that I can remember, the humble beginnings of this program.
All right.
There it is.
So I don't know how do we close out episodes.
This has been
Art of Pokemon.
The Art of Pokemon.
The Art of Pokemon.
I'm Savannah.
I'm David. Man. Oh.
Gotta catch them all.
Oh, I think that we should close the episodes with sponsors. Sponsored by Moss Deep Space Station, then tagline, something, then close it out.
I'm gonna have to learn a little bit about those,
Yeah.
or you're gonna have to be in charge of
Yeah,
that.
I'll be in charge of that.
All right.
Yeah.
Sponsored by somebody, someday, sometime.
Yeah, sponsored by the Pokemon Company. Not really.
And viewers
Unless.
like you. Unless.
Unless. All right.